All right. Episode 12. My favorite episode every single week because this is where the real shit gets talked about. And this is what everybody doesn't want to hear, but it's what everybody needs to hear. And it's the real side of playing quarterback. This shit ain't always sunshine and rainbows. I'm probably going to say a lot more F words in this episode than other episodes. So get ready to roll. This episode 12, we are talking about the toughest situation of the week. Kind of a runaway winner here. And again, you never want to be the runaway winner, but here we are. Our runaway winner this week is our guy, Riley Leonard at Notre Dame. Aust, talk to me. What's he going through?
Well, let's just set the stage, right? Let's set the stage first. So Riley plays at Duke, like good player, got injured over there a couple times and, fought through injury and all that, but he gets acquired to go to Notre Dame, okay? This guy has a $1.1 million NIL evaluation, okay, as he goes over to Notre Dame. He has deals with Gillette, EA Sports, Dick's. I don't even know what Roback is. Sorry, Roback, but he has a $100,000 deal with Roback. So you look at just the money that's implicated in that transfer. A guy coming from Duke to Notre Dame for that type of ballpark money. You go into Texas A&M at Kyle Field in week 1, you play pretty well. Like, you see the little things now, like after this week. But, as head coach said, like, he played well, but there were also decisions that, like, we'd like to see him play better, too. And then you go into this game. And, when you think of playing at Notre Dame, at home, against a team that, do you even know what the spread on that game was, Mitch?
No, I would say it's probably somewhere in the 30s or 40s.
Exactly. And
I have
it's
no
like,
idea.
dude. And again, so like the fans have an expectation, like your coaches have an expectation, your teammates have an expectation, and you play a game where it's never one player. But after being in the fire, both Mitch and I, we'd say it was on us multiple times.
Yep.
And this game was on him.
Yeah.
On him. To you, Mitch, like, I'll throw some more out there for you, but, like, why is this game on him?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit on it. You're getting paid $1.1 million. And allegedly, like, who knows how much
Right.
he's paid. I can almost guarantee he's getting paid a lot.
Right.
You get paid a lot of money, and you're getting paid to win a national championship. You're not getting paid to be in a sweat with Northern Illinois. And you're not getting paid to lose at Northern Illinois, And I got a question for you after I kind of answer your question first. Why is it on him? You're the guy. You're the quarterback. You're the leader. You shoulder the blame and you deflect all the success. And we talked about this in 2 episodes ago. We did talk about that late mistake, that late interception, in a game where your defense is playing really well, and an opportunity where instead of giving them the ball back on the 50 with only a field goal to win it, they get the ball back on the 10 with only 3 minutes left. Got to go 90 or, let's just say 60 yards to hit a game winner versus a great defense. At that point, it's such a lame thing, but, like, at that point, not throwing that interception and playing smart there doesn't lose you the game. And there's times as a quarterback where you have to – now, I'm not saying playing not to lose, but you have to make a decision that's not going to lose you the game. And that decision –
You have to understand the game that's going on in front of you.
Exactly.
The game that's going on in front of you is a defensive war at home in South Bend, and I got the ball with 3.5 minutes left, and it's 3rd and 7. And the only thing I don't do here is put the ball at risk.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm tucking that shit and running somebody over if I can. Like,
100%.
I am not putting that ball at risk.
Yeah. It's almost like you're going into that play with the pass play called. At least for me, I am tucking this and running this unless there's a dude wide open. And you're not throwing the ball away because you want to keep the clock running. And if you take a sack, it's better than throwing it away. It's better than throwing a pick in that scenario. Right? There are so many things you'd rather do in that scenario than throw a pick.
Well, let's be real. And the guy in the box that's talking to you in your helmet is telling you the same thing.
Yeah.
He's going, here's the play, Riley. whatever you do, dog, do not put this ball at risk. A classic quote in coaching is reserve the right to punt. Like, reserve the right to punt. Dude, hate the phrase, but like, this is that time.
Lame.
This is that time for that phrase.
100%.
And any seasoned quarterback, like, they understand the implications of where we're at in the game and what's going on here, which is why Mitch and I just alluded to, like, dude, I don't necessarily expect this to be here right now. So regardless, I'm going to make a play with my feet. I'm going to protect the ball. I'm not going to take a loss of yards, and I'm not going to put the ball at risk. Yeah. And so again, it's one of those things that, like we talked about Shador's comment about the offensive line. It takes a level or lack of awareness to be willing to say that. Like for Riley to put that ball up like that wasn't a good pick. That was a bad pick. To put the ball up like that, again, there was a lack of awareness in that moment. Now, as we kind of burn him at the stake, again, we're burning him at the stake because we're just explaining the implications of everything that was going on. Like, Riley, you're a great guy, dude. I saw what you did with your NIL money for your offensive line. Like, you're a great person, bro. So this
we can burn you at the stake because we've burned ourselves at the stake, and we've also been burned at the stake.
I've been there frying with you, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm still on fire. I'm getting burned. I'm not even playing right now, dude. Like, just catching strays.
Totally. But to polish off my disappointment in you this week, Riley, is the game. Okay. And I think that there are a lot of coaches that are going to really like this perspective. Notre Dame came out at home, and this is their first half drives. Touchdown. Start the game. Touchdown. Punt, interception, punt, missed field goal. Second half. Touchdown. Punt, interception, and missed field goal, but it was a 60-yard field goal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's why I said coaches are going to appreciate this. Is your first drive of the game and your first drive of the second half is going to be as much credit as you could possibly give to an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Because that's where he's actually scripting out plays against what he anticipates the defense is going to be.
Yeah.
And so for them to come out at home and score on their first drive, that OC is up in the box going, fuck yeah, dude. Everything that I did this week, everything that I prepared, there we go, bro. We got that shit done. Now you go into the game plan. Now you go into the full menu. Like most great coordinators literally almost have their first 10 plays all scripted. Yeah. So he had his first 10 plays scripted. They scored a touchdown. Now we're off the script. Now we're going with the play menu. So we scripted his touchdown, and then we went off the script and got into the flow of the game. Punt, interception, punt, missed field goal. Yeah. Then we go into the second half. Started the second half. OC scripts it up. They go down and lead a touchdown drive. Then we get into the flow of the game. Punt, interception, missed 62-yard field goal. Yeah. That's not even why I said the coaches part. The thing I think that coaches are going to really like and understand, dude, there's a time in a game like that against a team that is far inferior to you talent-wise, where it is on you to change the momentum of that football game. Yep. That could be galvanizing guys on the sidelines. That could be trying to run 3 guys over for no fucking reason just to send a statement to your team. That could be a multitude of different things at the quarterback position that we can do to change the momentum of a football game. He didn't do it once. He bled a slow death the entire first half after that touchdown drive, and he bled a slow death the entire second half after that first touchdown drive. And then the implications of that interception, again, is just you were brought to Notre Dame to be the veteran quarterback that doesn't lose games.
Yeah.
And against Northern Illinois, you did it. So what say you, Mitch?
Yeah, I like you hit it right there. It's such a – it's not – you want to be in a position where you're the guy winning games. You don't want to be in a position where you're the guy that's not going to lose the game for your team. And unfortunately, that was a situation they put him in, put themselves in. He had to be the guy that was going to help them not lose the game. And as lame as that sounds, that was his job because of the situation they were in.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, our job as quarterbacks is to win the game. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Tom Brady's done it. Tom Brady's played plenty of games where they scored 13 points, but they won because he didn't lose in the game. And it's tough. I'm sure he was trying to be aggressive and would have much rather, instead of not lose the game for him, put a dagger in him and throw a game winner. That's a lot cooler of a feeling and a lot, it's just a lot cooler of a feeling for sure. But that's just not the scenario they're in. And Austyn, you said he was acquired, right, by Notre Dame, and that's kind of how it goes nowadays in college football. He's definitely making a lot of money. I don't think people understand. There's a lot of positives, dude. There's a lot of positives making that kind of money. I don't think people understand the pressure you have to shoulder with that. When you get paid that much money, that's a lot of pressure. You know, you're expected to perform at a very high level all the time because of what you're making. I don't think people really understand that. Kind of talk about that. I know it was interesting when you said acquired.
Yeah. So I have personal experience with a couple quarterbacks up in college football right now that have been paid good money, and I'm watching them, and also like the depth of the way that we are is like we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And like it's not just the money that you're paid up front. It's every time you go to these speaking engagements. It's every time that you go. Like those people now feel that they have a right to you.
Yes.
Because they're contributing financially to your wallet.
Yeah.
So they feel like you should stand here and talk to me for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Because I'm paying your ass.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are getting cars all over the country. Right? Quarterbacks are getting cars. It's like when you go in there and they got a full setup for you, dude. Videos, flash bulbs, all the shit. You're wearing a shirt or a sweater that says their name on it, and you get to drive your new Corvette. It's really hard not to sit behind the wheel of that Corvette and go, fuck, dude, what happens if I drop a couple games this fall? And what I've used with one of my guys who's up there right now on the big national stage is I told him, dude, you're getting paid for what you did to get here.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid for what you did or what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You deserve everything you're getting because of what you did last year. Riley Leonard, you deserve that money because of what you did at Duke.
Of course.
You don't deserve that money because you're gonna go do it at Notre Dame.
That's what the NFL pays for.
is going to pay you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that's about.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem, right? Is that a lot of guys don't have that perspective.
Yeah. I mean,
So they're internalizing the pressure of those dollars that have been given to them, thinking that this is a future investment as opposed to that's a past investment, bro.
Yeah.
We're paying you to get here.
Yeah.
And that perspective and that part, I'm witnessing it with some of our guys. It's like,
yeah,
it's really hard
yeah,
to disassociate that.
yeah.
And now, Mitch, you were somebody that got paid. Like,
Yeah.
what did you, I mean, you've talked about it before, so give us kind of the Cliff Notes version, but like with what I just said there and those things, like, yeah, talk through that.
Yeah, I mean, I got paid, and it was hard for me because I didn't play. I got paid off of, kind of potential. Like, I had not started. I started one game before I got paid. And the way it happened at Wake was with our collective, we found out in March, before the season started, what our contract was going to look like. So I was told on the middle of March, this is what I was going to get. Maybe it was May, how much I was going to get paid. And it was fully guaranteed. And it was a lot of money. It wasn't six figures. I'll be honest with you. It wasn't six figures, but it was great money for a 22-year-old. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm thankful. I put a lot of it's in the bank account that I will not touch, but it was hard for me. And yeah, it was hard for me. I got paid money. It was fucking bullshit. I'm about to speak. I'm like an idiot. But no, it was hard for me at times just because Yes, I had not played yet. So I didn't feel like I earned it. I wasn't going to return it, but I didn't feel like I earned it yet. So it was awkward when I was talking to donors, and I knew that they were contributing to me financially. One thing I always try to do is I always try to have a relationship with the people I knew that were paying me directly, just because, one, that's just who I am. I
Right.
love people. And some of those relationships I still text those people to this day. They're amazing people, and I'm so thankful for them. It has nothing to do with the money. It's just great people who love to wake, and I love them.
Totally.
But there were other donors that, it was harder. That I didn't have a great relationship with them. And then, we're 4-6, 4-7, and I'm having to go to donor events. And I'm not even the starter at this point. I'd gotten benched. And these people are paying me to sit on the bench, and I have to go talk. Dude,
Right.
It was so awkward and so hard. Such a weird thing to shoulder. And it was just another one of those things in a crazy year of football that I was going through.
Totally.
And man, it was tough. And I felt like I was robbing those people.
So now, using your experience, what's Riley Leonard going through right now?
I know Riley is one of the most genuine people and one of the most selfless people out there.
Which means you feel harder, but keep going.
Exactly. So I know he's probably feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not about money for him.
Yeah.
I've heard him talk. I've played against him twice. Bro, he's so kind. And I know that it's not about money for him. So I know that there's definitely a part of him that's hurting a little bit. And I think it makes him feel better by giving some of it away and sharing the wealth with some of his big guys. And that's just who he is. He seems like a great guy and a giver. But I can only imagine he's probably feeling the same way. I can only imagine he's feeling the same way because he does. That's a lot more money than I was making, man. That's a lot of money.
Totally.
And I just don't think people think about the stress of that. But when you're getting paid that kind of money, you do have to. There's an expectation to perform at a higher level and kind of mitigate those mistakes. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that on Saturday.
And that's where we see NIL money kind of blur professional and college football. There's
no difference.
Something that I love about the way that my coaching network that's up in the NFL talks about the way that it is up there is they're like, dude, we get to skip all this small talk bullshit. It is pay for play. Don't show up to practice, get the fuck out of here. I'll pay somebody else. So because of that, the heart piece is unless it's the locker room specifically, with your guys as you go out to prepare for war, the upstairs of where the coaches and GMs and all that shit are feels a lot further upstairs than college football.
100%.
Right?
It's so funny, though, because they're like, oh, those are grown men. They need to take care of their families. Bro, you're paying a 23-year-old $1 million. He's a grown-ass man.
Grown-ass man.
Treat him the same. I totally agree.
And emotionally is in a completely different place. You're just so much younger, dude.
So much younger.
So much younger. So, you have the shattered illusion for Riley Leonard of an undefeated season, which is 100% what they were thinking about preseason and after they beat A&M. Now, all of your ideas, bro, this is a thought. These are the thoughts that come up. It's fuck, dude, I'm going to be that guy for the next 30 years that is on that highlight of throwing the interception, watching Northern Illinois storm the field at Notre Dame. That's real. That's real. The narrative and the story is completely shifted. Now we talked about DJ's situation and his implications last week, and some of them are similar. Your coaches, I don't care what you say, your coaches are looking at you going, are you kidding me, bro? Yeah. You really made a freshman level decision when we had the game in control. Yeah. And we paid you this. Again, they're not going to say that, dude.
They're thinking it.
But you're going to feel that shit for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Here's to that. One is the interception and it being inexcusable. No excuse. No excuse. What Shedeur said about his offensive line, no excuse. What Riley did in that situation of the game, no excuse. That's one. The second one, bro, your team now knows you don't have that change the momentum trait. They know that. I'm sure on that team, based on everything you've said about him, based on the way his eyes look, dude, and the way he treats his teammates, like, great guy. No one's questioning whether he's a great guy or not.
Yeah.
You fuck up against Northern Illinois, still nobody's questioning whether you're a great guy or not. But you got people in that locker room going, can this guy really take us to where we're trying to go because of what just happened? Yeah. So again, new locker room, new situation, getting acclimated with new relationships. You feel that tension from the coach, like where, again, their head coach is a great guy. He's not going to make him feel that, but he's going to feel that.
Yep.
His teammates aren't going to make him feel that, but he's going to feel that.
Yeah, no doubt.
The fans will probably make him feel that.
Oh, he's here. He's 100%.
100%. So, again, we get back into this situation where, guys, this guy's a young cat, dude. He's a young cat. What's that? Well, shit, it's not a dorm room anymore. It's probably a fucking sick house. But, like, what's that sick house feel like right now?
Yeah.
Especially, Mitch, I want to say it this way, especially for a guy who you know through the grapevine and have played against a couple times and stuff, where, like, you know that money isn't what he values.
Yeah.
So talk about what that means. Like, if it's a guy who only gives a shit about money, he's probably a little bit more superficial. He probably, like, can be a little bit more shallow about it. Like, you know Riley to be somebody who it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's about what they can do as a Notre Dame football team together.
Yes.
And now you can still do it, but they're going to have to run the table, dude. They're going to have to run the table, and they're going to have to beat USC in a good way.
Yeah.
To go.
Good. Yeah. I think right now, if I had to guess how he's feeling, like he feels bad. He feels like he let his team down. He feels like, I think he's a feeler. And I think he's got a big heart and wants to make a lot of people smile. And I think he feels like he let his teammates down, his coaches down, his school down, the fans down. All these people that come to watch him play, all these people that work with him and care about him, he feels like he let them down. And again, I have no idea. That's just my guess. I know that's how I've felt in the past.
That's how I felt.
And again, it was never about how I felt. Like, it was never about me feeling bad that I lost the game. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'll get over it. But it was just letting other people down and my actions affecting other people. That's what always fucked me up. And I feel like that's how he's feeling right now too. Having to look at his guys in the locker room, knowing he did not play his best game, had a bad turnover at the end, feeling like it was all his fault, and looking at everybody in the locker room having to face that and say and understand, like, these guys put in all this work, played their asses off. I fucked up. It's on me.
Totally. And know that the depths of the implications of this, like, to anybody listening, you won't understand. When this guy goes to Subway tomorrow, everything feels different.
Yeah.
When he pumps gas at the gas station, everything feels different. Mm-hmm. When he's in his room on the phone with his parents, the whole conversation is different. And now that's his reality.
Yep.
So I think a cool part of this segment that I want to start to infuse here, and I want both Mitch and I to say what we would do, is now, okay, we all feel empathetic towards him for everything that he's feeling and going through right now. And yeah, you never live this down, dude. This is on replay every day for a really long time. Okay. Yeah. Well, now let's transition it into your Riley Leonard. How do you now handle this moving forward? What is the way that Mitch Griffis / Riley Leonard is now thinking about what he needs to do, or the way he wants to approach things to kind of, I don't even want to steal your thunder, but like change a bit of what the feeling is right now?
Yeah, obviously it feels like shit, and he feels like he let people down. There's no way escaping. There's no way to escape what's happened. It's happened. You're not changing shit. The only way, there's no escape. There's no going back. It's done. It's done. The only way is forward. So you can make a decision Okay, you feel like shit. You feel bad. You feel like you let people down. If it's Tuesday, so they've already had their Tuesday practice. If on Monday you did not make a decision and say, all right, that fucked, and you don't put it behind you and you continue to feel bad that you let other people down, you're only going to do it again. You have to stop feeling bad that you let other people down right now. As much as that's hard for you and me, and I'm sure it's hard for Riley Leonard, because we're feelers and we care more about other people a million times more than we care about ourselves. If you continue to feel bad for other people's feelings, you'll never be able to flush it. You have to kind of be selfish, forget about everybody else's feelings, knowing in the end it'll lead to hopefully that not happening again. Because there's really no other way to get through it, in my opinion.
I love that. Now, as your older coach, I agree with that 1,000,000%. You have to get it. You have to put it behind you.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to stop feeling bad for what happened. But stopping feeling bad for something that is a movie that's playing in your head every day, it's not something that you can just flush.
100%.
So I agree 1,000,000% with what Mitch is saying. Now, how do you flush it? To me,
hop on the phone with Austyn.
That too, Riley. I'm here for you, dog. But in my career, that was watch the fuck out. Because I am walking into that building the next morning at 5 a.m. and I'm going to go talk to my strength coach, and I'm going to go talk to my OC, and I'm going to go talk to the head coach. And obviously I have to have awareness because in ways I'm the person that lost the game.
Yeah.
But I am about to show my football team that I am the baddest on the entire planet. And if that means running guys over in practice, if that means whatever the fuck it means, I'm not going to ever take anything out on other players. Like, it's not my place right now to jump on anybody else's ass.
No.
I just made the mistake. I'm not doing that. But you are going to see 0 dark 30, red eyes over there, or Michael Jordan shit. Like this, Michael Jordan literally made up lies to help motivate himself to go play beyond where his current capacity felt he was.
Yeah.
If I'm Riley Leonard, I'm telling myself, again, this isn't true. I'm not saying this to you, Riley, but what I would be telling myself if I were you is I just showed my locker room and the world that I'm a pussy. And I'm about to show everybody in the locker room and the entire world who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the only way to move forward.
100%.
Because,
I agree.
Again, I completely agree with Mitch, but flushing a movie that's replaying in your head over and over and over again that you feel when you walk on campus, when you go to Subway, when you go to the gas station, when you walk into your coach's meeting, like, to flush that, to me, the only way to flush that is to outperform, outcompete, outgrit, and show everybody that whatever question you might have, which I said the question to me, if I was his teammate, would be, is this guy a dog?
Yeah.
Like, can this guy do it? Can we go do that? Because that shit that I just felt on Saturday, he let that happen. Is he going to let that shit happen against USC later this season? Is he going to let that shit happen if we make it to the playoff?
Yeah.
I need to answer that question as a teammate.
Yeah.
And I know Riley's aware of that. So how do we handle it, Riley?
I like it. It's like, kind of shutting the hell up and just setting the tone. And not even like an external talk. Like, you don't need to tell anybody. It's just, you're going to tell people at practice are going to know that I'm setting the tone. Because they're going to see the way I practice. It's going to be harder. They're going to bring in extra intensity. And if it's like in a team period, it might be a little bit more physical. Like, not in a dirty way, but finishing runs, like letting people know that you're pissed off. You know, it's setting the tone for the week. I 100% agree. I agree.
And that's why I think this segment is so cool, and why we've had such an outreach off of this segment is because, to me, this goes all the way down. Like, youth may be a bit aggressive, but this goes down all the way into Pop Warner.
Yeah.
If I play like shit and turn the ball over 5 times, like in a game, it's like the way strategically to approach it is not to not feel it. It's not to not understand it. It's to get back up on the horse and go show them who you are.
Yeah.
And understanding that the worse that we play, the more they should see your commitment to that never happening again.
Of course.
And I think for young quarterbacks, a lot of you guys like sit in that limbo of like, I just fucked it up. What do I do? How am I going to recover from this? And it's like, dude, there ain't much better than grabbing your hard hat and lunch pail and going out there and getting after it.
Yep.
So I think that's a nice little segment there. Mitch, do you have anything else? I mean, Cade McNamara at Iowa. Dude, saying a prayer for you just after everything that you've been through, and then to lose that game in that way. You don't want to be on the honorable mention list 2 weeks in a row, and you're on that list. So I'm sorry, brother. But Mitch, anything else to kind of conclude the episode?
No, man. That's it. That's it. Again, we say all this shit because we've been through it. We're not crucifying anybody because, shit, we've been crucified ourselves. So
100%.
This is just, we're just keeping it real. And obviously we say this with a loving heart. You know, we've been through it. It sucks, but hey, when you put on those pads and you play quarterback, you chose this lifestyle, so I don't feel bad for you.
I don't feel bad for you either. Here we go.